These choices made our hands go up, up, and onto our foreheads. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 dumbest decisions in superhero movies. For this list, we're going over the most questionable, short-sighted, and just plain dumb decisions made by characters in superhero movies. Because many of these decisions affect the plot, there will be spoilers. Enough said. Number 10. Giving Loki an Infinity Stone. The Avengers. Much of the saga thus far in the MCU involves the Infinity Stones and Thanos' pursuit of them. This makes it all the more baffling when you realize that early on he gave one away.
Question him. He who put the scepter in your hand.
In the Avengers, Loki is given a powerful scepter by the Mad Titan to aid in the Asgardians' battle on Earth and in acquiring the Space Stone. Ultron later reveals that the Mind Stone was hidden inside the scepter. So why would Thanos give one of the things crucial to his goal to someone who could and did lose it? The Mind Stone ends up being the last one he acquires, and he would have had them all sooner if he'd never given it up.
No. Bad call.
Number 9. Jonathan Kent sacrifices himself. Man of Steel. Like most of the DCEU, the movie that kicked it off is a bit of a mixed bag.
Oh, Clark, you have to keep this side of yourself a secret.
What was I supposed to do? Just let him die?
One of the more notable nuggets of dumbness comes with Jonathan Kent's vehement opinion that Clark should keep his superpowers a secret, even if it costs others their lives. True to this philosophy, when Jonathan is about to die in a tornado, he tells his son not to save him. While the idea that he would sacrifice himself to keep Clark safe from exposure has potential, the execution doesn't work. Not only because it flies in the face of Clark's character for him to allow his father to die, but also because with his super speed, he could easily save him before anyone noticed. Number 8. Sending the whole police force underground. The Dark Knight Rises. With the masked terrorist Bane threatening Gotham, Commissioner Gordon, who is still recovering from his encounter with the villain, makes the idiotic decision to send all the police into the sewers to smoke out Bane and his men.
No more patrols, no more hide-and-seek. Get every available cop down there and smoke him out.
The mayor won't want panic.
Naturally, this leads to all the police getting trapped underground, letting Bane and the criminals he frees have free reign in the city. No matter how much of a threat Bane is, putting most of the police in a confined space is just a bad idea.
There's a ring around the tunnels. They're gonna blow it and trap the cops underground.
Why not block the entrances and send in a strike team? For that matter, why isn't someone else making the decisions instead of the commissioner? Is allowing trauma victims to make strategic decisions standard police procedure? Number 7. Yelling at Hulk. The Avengers. Loki makes a number of questionable choices throughout this film, but this is easily the dumbest and probably the one he regrets the most. During the Battle of New York, Loki is knocked back onto the Avengers Tower and is pursued by the Hulk, who knocks him inside.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature.
Frustrated that things aren't going his way, Loki yells at the Hulk, proclaiming his godhood and insulting the green guy. The angry green guy then proceeds to smash him into the ground repeatedly, leaving Loki groaning in high-pitched pain.
Puny god.
We don't know what Loki was thinking, but we think Tony Stark said it best.
Not a great plan.
Number 6. Giving the Mandarin his address. Iron Man 3. Tony Stark may be a genius inventor, scientist, and engineer, but even he's not immune to being an idiot. After his friend Happy is severely injured by terrorists in the employ of the mastermind known as the Mandarin, Tony calls out the baddie on TV, inviting him to his house to settle the score.
And on the off chance you're a man, here's my home address. 10880 Malibu Point, 90265. I'll leave the door unlocked.
Not only is it a stupid idea to invite a terrorist to where you live to fight, but Tony also puts on his only unfinished Iron Man suit and doesn't activate the dozens of remote-controlled suits we know he has. Oh, and he doesn't get his girlfriend out in time either. It's like Tony handicapped himself on purpose for no reason. Number 5. Bruce Wayne revealing his identity to prospective recruits. Justice League. In order to combat the coming threat, Bruce Wayne decides to gather a group of powerful people together.
So let me get this straight. You do dress like a bat, like an actual bat. Worked for 20 years in Gotham.
To that end, he meets up with several potential team members and attempts to convince them to join him. However, while doing so, he's very cavalier with his secret identity as Batman.
You're the Batman? So you're fast.
You'd think the world's greatest detective would be more cautious than to reveal who he is to complete strangers before he's confirmed whether they're joining him or not. This might have been excusable if he were just starting out, but it's clear that he's a veteran hero at this point. So what gives, Bruce?
World's gone crazy, Jim. Maybe he did too.
Number 4. Ignoring Buddy, The Incredibles. Bob Parr, the once Mr. Incredible, longs for his glory days as a superhero. However, not everything about his past is glorious.
I know all your moves, your crime-fighting style, favorite catchphrases, everything! I am your #1 fan!
When his #1 fan Buddy sought to become his sidekick, Mr. Incredible rejected his aid, turning the young boy bitter and vengeful. Eventually, Buddy grows up to become the villain Syndrome, who's responsible for killing dozens of superheroes and for nearly doing the same to Mr. Incredible and his family.
Oh, don't worry, I'll be a good mentor. Supportive, encouraging, everything you weren't.
As stupid as Mr. Incredible was for not being more understanding to his fan, it works well within the story. In fact, it's such a good bad decision that Iron Man 3 basically copied it with the same results. Number 3. No security on the plane. Spider-Man Homecoming. For as much as Peter Parker needs to learn about powers and responsibilities, the dumbest decision in Homecoming isn't actually one of his. After selling Avengers Tower in New York, Tony Stark and Happy Hogan pack up all of the Avengers' advanced gear and equipment from the location to be moved to a new location. To move it safely, they do so by loading it all onto an invisible plane, and send it all on autopilot with no one on board to its destination.
Hot dog.
The fact that no one is on board means it's an easy target for the Vulture to try to hijack it, which he nearly did, with only Spider-Man's intervention foiling him. Number 2. Creating Ultron. Avengers Age of Ultron. You'd think a guy who makes as many pop culture references as Tony Stark would know that mixing AI and weapons rarely turns out well for anyone.
This could be it, Bruce. This could be the key to creating Ultron.
However, the temptation to put a suit of armor around the world is too tempting an opportunity, and when Tony discovers an artificial intelligence inside Loki's scepter, he decides to use it, with Bruce Banner's help, to create Ultron, a defense initiative that soon gains sentience and concludes that humans are the biggest threat to the planet and must be eliminated.
I'm on a mission.
What mission?
Peace in our time.
For as much as we love Tony, he really has a terrible record of dumb decisions, and this is one of the worst. Hey, just because they're superhuman doesn't mean they're super smart, right? But there's one superhero decision that rises above the rest as the dumbest. So let's facepalm through these honorable mentions, and then we'll find out which was the dumbest and perhaps most devastating decision in a superhero movie.
You guys sure you're in the best shape to be doing this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The child. We left him.
Strike, move it out.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Star-Lord attacking Thanos. Avengers Infinity War. The responsibility of who could have stopped the snap falls on many shoulders. And while it was tempting to call out Thor for not going for the head, or the arm for that matter, we have to point a finger at Star-Lord. On Titan, a disparate group of heroes fights desperately together and finally manages to briefly subdue Thanos, while he's wearing the Infinity Gauntlet no less.
He took her to Vormir. He came back with the Soul Stone.
However, before they manage to get it off him, Thanos announces he killed his daughter Gamora, whom Quill loves. While we would certainly be devastated and angry if we were in his situation, we like to think that we could have held on to our rage until after the Infinity Stones had been secured. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.